Hello, my name is Arnyanti. I will read a practice story of mine entitled Rapunzel. On an island in Italy, there lived a girl named Rapunzel with her adoptive mother. She has long light blue hair. Even though she is only an adopted child, her mother loves Rapunzel very much. Rapunzel loves reading and has a hobby of researching something related to science. She dreams of becoming a scientist. Rapunzel wants to leave the island to realize her dream of studying on the other side of the island because the education system on the island where she lives is not very supportive. But her mother does not allow it. Rapunzel doesn't give up. She continues to persuade her mother to allow her to go to the other side of the island. Until one day, when she got a scholarship, Rapunzel secretly went to the other side of the island without her mother's knowledge. When her mother found out that Rapunzel had gone to the other side of the island, she was very disappointed. It was not without reason that her mother did not allow Rapunzel to leave the island, because her mother was worried that Rapunzel would not be able to live outside the island. So far, Rapunzel has never left the island where she lives. That's what worries her mother. While studying on the other side of the island, Rapunzel has a male friend named Flynn. Flynn and Rapunzel are good friends. They often study together, have lunch together, sometimes go together to the night market. They often spend time together like a couple. Flynn admires Rapunzel, who is beautiful, very intelligent and independent. He has asked Rapunzel to marry him several times. But Rapunzel refused. Rapunzel didn't want to get married because she wants to realize her dream first. Even so, Flynn and Rapunzel remain good friends. Because of her perseverance and intelligence, Rapunzel completed her education quickly and received an award as the best. On her graduation day, she was also proposed to by Flynn, but she could not immediately accept Flynn's proposal. Rapunzel wanted to marry Flynn with her mother's approval. Therefore, she invited Flynn to meet her mother. Flynn had no problem with Rapunzel's decision. He would also go home with Rapunzel. On the way home, Rapunzel was worried that her mother would scold her because she invited a man home. But Flynn assured Rapunzel that it would not happen. If that happened, they had to face it together. They arrived at Rapunzel's house. Rapunzel knocked on her door anxiously. When her mother opened the door, she immediately hugged Rapunzel and observed Rapunzel's body. Her mother was very happy that Rapunzel was fine. Rapunzel felt a little relieved that her mother was not angry because she had left quickly. But when Rapunzel said that she was going home with her future husband, her mother immediately let go of her hug with a shocked face. At the time she saw a man behind her daughter, she pulled Rapunzel into the house and immediately scolded her daughter for bringing a stranger home. Rapunzel explained that Flynn was not a stranger. Flynn was her best friend from college. Flynn came to her house to propose to her directly in front of her mother. But her mother continued to argue Rapunzel did not believe what Rapunzel said. She was sure that Flynn was not a good person. He insisted that he would not give his blessing to Rapunzel to marry Flynn. Rapunzel and her mother continued to argue in the house. Flynn, who heard the argument, decided to go in. Rapunzel's mother became even more angry when she saw Flynn enter. She pushed Flynn out and locked Rapunzel in the room. Flynn tries to explain his purpose to Rapunzel's mother, but he is cast away. Meanwhile, Rapunzel, who was locked up in her room, felt very sad about what her mother had done. 3 days passed, during which time Flynn continued to come to Rapunzel's house and beg to Rapunzel's mother to free Rapunzel and that he didn't mind if Rapunzel's mother didn't allow him to marry Rapunzel. But Rapunzel's mother threw Flynn out. Rapunzel's mother came in to see her. Rapunzel had been locked up for 3 days and was not allowed to see Flynn. Over the past 3 days, he saw Flynn keep coming to his house and asking to free Rapunzel. He remembered Flynn's request to bring him together with Rapunzel and that he didn't mind if he wasn't allowed to marry Rapunzel. Rapunzel's mother also saw Flynn's sincerity. Rapunzel's mother continues to consider whether Flynn is good for Rapunzel or not. Just then Flynn comes back and begs to see Rapunzel. Rapunzel's mother invited Flynn to talk in the garden to give Flynn a chance. Rapunzel's mother would allow Flynn to marry Rapunzel if he had to successfully bring the Edelweiss flower from the elves. Flynn agreed to Rapunzel's mother's request, even though he knew it was very difficult to find the elves' Edelweiss flower. Flynn began his search for the flower. He went to the Alps alone. He faced various obstacles while in the Alps, but he managed to get through it. Flynn continued looking for the Edelweiss flower that only exists in the Alps. Finally, after a hard struggle, he managed to find and bring home the Edelweiss flower. Flynn brought the Edelweiss flower and gave it to Rapunzel's mother. Rapunzel's mother was surprised because Flynn managed to get the Edelweiss flower. She knew that it was very difficult to get the flower. Finally, Rapunzel's mother was convinced that Flynn was right for Rapunzel. She allowed Flynn to marry Rapunzel. Rapunzel's mother took Rapunzel to meet Flynn and told him that she allowed Rapunzel and Flynn to marry. Rapunzel was very happy. She thanked her mother. Until finally Flynn and Rapunzel's wedding day arrived, they looked very happy. Rapunzel and Flynn lived happily together on the island and became great scientists who advanced the island. Thanks for watching.